Hi, cuties, besties, and ghosties. This is Muertera. Welcome to my channel, Muertero. I'm so excited to have you here today. Welcome back to my returning viewers. There are an increasing amount of you lately, which is really cool. And hi to all my new people. Really excited to have you here. Today we are doing a reading where I'm going to give you the honest to spirit truth about what I'm seeing going on in your connection. So this is going to be a very direct reading. I will not hold back. It will be honest and direct. So if you're looking for something with a little bit softer delivery or that doesn't really have that vibe, definitely check out a different reading. Totally okay. But if you're sticking around, we are going to do a quick energy check on each of the connections so you can make sure it's your pile. It's not really going to focus too much on the other person. I'll kind of talk about the impact on you, but I'm not really going to dig into their feelings, how they're doing in the connection, things like that, unless it really impacts you. I really want this reading to be helpful for you. This is really spirit giving you the honest truth. And most of it is probably things that you already kind of intuitively know, or maybe, you know, just need that extra confirmation for. So hopefully it's really helpful. We will go into kind of things that you're struggling with in the connection, maybe the reason why the connection is still kind of lingering for you. Really the main theme around what you're supposed to learn from the connection. And then we'll look into tarot and pull some oracles for additional guidance to wrap up. So I hope this is a really helpful reading. I'm excited about it. Definitely, you know, if you haven't already, subscribe. If you are interested in seeing more of these readings, definitely comment below and let me know. This is a first of this kind for me, so I'm kind of trying it out. But yeah, really excited. If you have not done a pick a pile reading before, I'm going to play a singing bowl in another section. I'll go through all of the crystals on the decks and talk about the decks a little bit. And then you'll have a few moments to sit, really focus in on the energy, and then pick the pile that you are feeling most drawn to. And then all of the pile timestamps will be linked in the description. So if I do not see you in that pick a pile section, I hope to see you in a reading, and I will see you there. Okay, bye. Hi cuties. Welcome to the pick a pile section. So we are going to run through the piles and then I will play the bowl for you. So first we have this piece of, I believe this is white jasper. We're just going to roll with it. It's a very calming stone. There's actually little striations. I don't know if you can quite see that in the camera. But it's kind of, it's like a creamy stone with some white stripes in it. And white jasper is really about balance, tranquility, peace, purity. Really calming stone. And this is paired with the Mysterious Forest Tarot, which is actually kind of a chaotic deck. And I kind of like the juxtaposition. I didn't really think about that, but I like it. For pile 2, we have this shard of black tourmaline. Tourmaline's really interesting because when you drop it, it like breaks off into these little shards. And this one looks like an arrowhead, and I just really like it, or kind of like half an angel wing. However you want to look at it. And this is paired with the cute Ghost Tarot. And then we have this piece of quartz. Oh, and tourmaline, I didn't even talk about what it's for. Tourmaline is a great stone for protection, absorbing negative energies. For a long time when I started my spiritual practice, I wore a bracelet of black tourmaline. And actually, I think, no, I don't have that one on now. I wear tiger eye and amethyst. But before I used to wear tiger eye and black tourmaline because it is extremely good at blocking out energy. So if you're struggling with that, this could be a really grounding stone to have around. Pile 3 is the Santa Muerte Tarot. I'm really excited. I haven't used this one before. And it's a piece of clear crystal quartz. So if you're looking for clarity, cut into the heart of a situation, this is your gal. Okay. Okay, friends, hopefully you've had enough time to choose a pile. So go ahead and click the timestamp in the description to get on over the pile, and I will see you in your reading. Bye! Hi, friends! If you picked this little white stone jasper and this mysterious forest tarot, this is your pile. We're gonna put this off to the side for a second. And I will put out these shuffled oracles. Just a quick reminder, we're going to do an energy check, but we are really going to focus more on the connection than your person necessarily. And just another heads up, I'm going to be pretty honest and direct here. So if you're feeling a little bit sensitive and are looking for a gentler message or delivery, definitely click over to a different reading. Nothing's going to be mean in here, but I definitely am going to be pretty blunt about what I'm seeing. Bonus points though, if you know the situation is unfair, I probably will drag this person a bit, and that might be fun for you. Sometimes I get heated. Anyway, so I read in an A-B format. Typically the person that I'm reading, you'll be pile B, the person will be pile A who you're asking about. So we have the kiss in reverse. As the current energies, we have, I think faith is over here. We have faith, illumination, and we have death. And then for your energy, we actually had 3 different cards. So we had ocean come out, as well as river. So a ton of water here. Kind of like the entire rainbow in there. And then the flame. The central lesson that you're learning in this connection is lunar eclipse, open the door to a higher dimension. Something that you were working on processing is bravery. So 77, I am brave. Something that you're struggling with right now is I want you and I feel you even though we are apart. Kind of interesting. I didn't really look at the cards in depth, but the part where you're struggling, that is like consistent across all of the piles. So just something interesting to note. And then the 2, I thought there were 3 cards in here, but maybe not. 2 other cards just to describe the connection. We have sleep paralysis and treading water. Okay, I just checked on the ground and I definitely dropped the card. So the last card that I had pulled was Priceless Treasure. And I remembered this card in particular. Okay. So what Spirit is telling me, like really strongly, just straight out the gate, this is a connection that was meant to teach you your self-worth. And not just your self-worth. I'm trying to like organize these so they can kind of get all out. Like, not just your self-worth, but also your ability to believe in yourself and that you can do anything. What I'm seeing in kind of the combination between your energies and the energy of the person that you're asking about, I think there's like a bit of an ungroundedness or kind of disconnect. And again, we're not going to dig too much into this person, but what I get from the kiss is that this person inherently could not give you what your soul desired. Maybe they were able to give you affection, physical affection, tangible things, but there was something missing in it. Like it was a blending of people, not a blending of souls. And I think that however this played out, there were just, like, I feel like you were kind of lost in your emotion for this person. Like having such strong water energies, and they're not, oh my gosh, I cannot pick up that card. So let's keep rolling, but they're not upright. They're not reversed. I just feel like kind of like a swishing and swaying of energy. And at first, it feels like it was really confusing and up and down. And it was really hard for you to get an understanding of what was going on in the connection. Like maybe this person was also a little bit of like Knight of Cupsy is kind of what I get from like the kiss as well. Like kind of inconsistent, maybe a bit withholding at times. It seems like you were kind of like you were impacted by the tides of this person's emotions as well. It wasn't just necessarily your own, but it made it really, really difficult for you to sit and feel safe in this connection and feel like you knew what was really going on. And then we have the river on top of the ocean. And I feel like this is your kind of forward facing energy. This is what's clearing out blockages, and I see you as kind of coming into your power, and that being a result of going through some hardship in this connection. We have the horse, and horses, they run. Like they know the way home, they know the direction, they go. And rivers, while they can be slow at times, like they have a straight path. Like the river doesn't go upstream. There's no going back. It's not like a wave that kind of ebbs and flows. It is a straight shot. And I feel like this connection was here to put you back on your path and to really empower you. Like your central energy, and I'm getting tingles like when I'm saying this, like your central energy is the flame. Like this is connecting to your inner life purpose, to the little spark within you that is not human, it's divine. And in combination with illumination and faith, like with this death card, the ending here is only the beginning for you. Like literally I'm tingling, like my face is tingling, everything's tingling right now. Like this is the beginning for you. This is the spark that ignites the fire. And I'm kind of looking at these cards, right? Like it's interesting because this lunar eclipse, like I'll have to kind of tip it a little bit, but all of these colors are represented in the card. You have the sun and the, I guess that's the moon, and the stars, that's your golds. You have the stairs, that's the purple, that's faith. So illumination and faith. And then you have death, and death is just like this portal on the card. And I think this is really spirit saying that some things come and go, some things end for a reason. And an ending is actually a new beginning. Like this connection was meant for you to open up something so much greater in your life and to help connect you back to your purpose. The thing that you're really learning in this connection and you're supposed to connect to is I am brave. Bravery. Like what does it mean to walk through that door? What does it mean to put up boundaries and blocks and say, okay, well, that's fine if you want to give me inconsistent attention, or you can go back and forth with your emotions and your feelings, but I have a path and I'm going to walk it. And I'm going to let that river come in and really just sweep everything away. And it's interesting too that like these came out in reverse under Priceless Treasure. And we have sleep paralysis and treading water. And I feel like for a long time, you felt like you were a little bit paralyzed and really like at the whim of somebody else. And it really was treading water. Like you have this water theme. And I feel like moving past this and facing an ending has taught you how priceless of a treasure you are. And it's not because of this person. It's honestly because this person did not treat you like a priceless treasure that you now have this. This is your newfound sense of self-worth. And it might be a tiny little flame right now. It might just be kind of like peeking under the surface, but this is going to turn into a raging fire. Like even with this flame, we have these forward moving lines, and it just gets redder and redder as you go on. Like, this is really supposed to propel you forward. And I think it's hard, right? Like, the things that you're struggling with right now are missing this person, feeling this person. You know, this feels like a spiritual connection. But I'm going to be honest with you, because we're supposed to be honest and direct with each other in this reading. This does not feel like the spiritual connection for you. This is Spirit telling you that this came into your life for a reason. And once your flame is ignited and you have this understanding of self-love and self-worth, this person's kiss is kind of meaningless. There's nothing behind it. It's only skin deep. And you may miss them on a physical level. You may miss them on an energetic level because they were in your life for a reason. But they're not the reason. And I think Spirit really wants you to know that. Like, you have the choice to walk through this door and say, okay, I'm going to be brave. I don't know what's ahead of me, but I definitely know what this person can give me, and I know that this isn't what I want and isn't fulfilling my needs. And I know I have a higher purpose that I need to pursue. But I need to be brave, and I need to look at myself and say that I am worth more than this. And I need to step into my path. Damn, I feel like this is like so direct that we don't even need tarot, but let's do it and let's get you some advice. I always feel like a card janitor at the end of picking up all these. Okay. So let's look at tarot. I just had a little panic and thought I had like not recorded this. That would have been so sad. Okay. I honestly like feel very jittery right now, but excited. Like, this pile is giving me some vibes right now. Like, when I looked at that river card, I just felt, so in Santeria Ochun, she's the Orisha of the river and of love. And I feel her presence right now, just clearing blockages, sweeping away, like just creating this like open, wide expanse. But it's like it's not a meandering river. It's like direct. I feel like once you're ready to kind of like fully, you know, I'm just going to be real with you right now. Like, this is an online tarot reading, so take what resonates. But I feel like once you make a decision on this and you choose to walk through that door, whatever that looks like for you, I feel like that is your commitment to the universe, and that's you telling your guides, telling your angels, a higher power, whatever you believe in, like, clear this path for me. And I feel like strongly, like they're going to do it for you. Remember, like, Santeria is only one practice, so that's the one that I'm most connected to. Whether or not you believe in a higher power, whether it's spirits, angels, intuition, manifestation, like, you have to give Spirit that green light to say, yes, take this from me, or yes, open this door. It doesn't happen unless you give permission, because this is a world of free will. You have free will, so you have to exercise it. And I feel like that's part of what you're struggling with right now, is this like kind of being pulled by the tides and not really being able to like feel like you have firm footing and make a decision for yourself. But I feel like that little fire is like getting brighter. And as you gain the confidence that you are this priceless treasure, you're starting to kind of put your foot down and say like, no, this is what I want. This is what I deserve. And Spirit's telling me that they're like waiting for you to make these decisions, whether it's in prayer, in action, like okay, well, I'm going to start cutting these things out of my life that aren't useful. Like, that's an action. That's like prayer in motion. You know, it doesn't have to be like direct prayer to a higher power. But that's your sign to the universe. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Okay. Spirit, what is your direct message about this connection? Okay. Okay, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. We have the King of Wands. This was sideways. I'm going to put it upright. I think it kind of has like two meanings though. The Queen of Wands. The Knight of Wands. Damn, holy fire. Like, truly. And the Ten of Cups. Okay. Okay. Remember, we're in a direct and honest reading. I feel like I have to say that a million times. I know you're already here and you know it. You have faced a very painful ending that you were holding on to and prolonging. And I think you're faced with the choice of somebody who is the King of Wands in reverse and somebody who is the King of Wands upright. And, you know, whether you are male, female, you know, whatever, like, I don't read, like, I don't read that. I read energy. I feel like the Queen of Wands is you, and you really are kind of like faced with this decision. It's like, do you go one way and you hit the Ten of Swords in reverse? You're stagnant. You're being stabbed over and over by all of these knives. Like, it's not really working out for you, but you're scared to move on. You're scared to take a step away from this person because it's comfortable. Even though it's not fulfilling, it's comfortable. Like, the kiss is comfortable, but it's not fulfilling. Or do you move forward and do you find somebody that you can have a true Ten of Cups with? And that's really your decision. You have all of this fire. Like, I see you as a person who is the King, the Queen, and the Knight of Wands. You are literally the full stack. You can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. And I feel like you have been letting your fire get put out by other people because it's convenient for them. And I think you've been too willing to let it happen, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. I feel like you have allowed people around you and romantic partners to stagnate you. And you can't be tamed. You literally have the entire suit of wands out here. Like, this is super, super clear. I've literally never seen a spread like this before. Spirit wants you to know, like, you don't have to deal with this shit. You don't have to deal with bullshit from people. There are people out there who will treat you well and who will match your fire. And they will stoke it. They'll be like, fuck yeah, like, what can I do to help support you? Not, ooh, what can I do to take from you and support myself? Because I feel like that's kind of the energy that you've had around you. People are leeching off of this fire because they can see it, even if you can't. But you are starting to realize how truly powerful you are. And you're kind of at a point where you can say, this shit ain't good for me, and I'm choosing this. And that is within your power. That's within your reach. Like, look at all these hands reaching up, and then, like, okay, this hand's reaching one way, this hand's reaching the other way. And then finally the Knight of Wands is grabbing. Like, this is what's on the table for you. And it's really up to you to decide what you want to do moving forward and how you want your life to look like. Do you want to constantly be dragged down by a partner? Or do you want to be lifted up and rejoiced and celebrated and loved and worshipped? Like, that is like literally what's in the future if you decide that this shit is not good enough for you. This is such a beautiful reading. I want to give you a damn hug right now, a high five. I don't think I even need to pull any more cards. Like, this is beautiful. So I'm going to give you I'm going to pull a piece of advice, although I feel like I've just like talked your ear off, but you know, I feel Spirit is like strong with the message in this one. It's not like, this is about you. This isn't, and this is kind of why I wanted to structure the reading this way, because like, this is supposed to be helpful for you, like the helpful truth for you. And the helpful truth for you is like, you're a queen among beggars. Like, queen, king, however you identify. Like, you are royalty. And you're literally like, people are trying to hold you down because they don't want you to realize that. Okay, Spirit, do you have any last thoughts or advice for our fucking amazing Palo ones? Okay. The golden children, inner child tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. And here again, we have a doorway and a portal. I think inner child work may be really helpful for you on your journey of self-love and really like stoking that inner flame. I feel like that flame may have like some, I don't want to say like inner child wounds, but you may have some inner child wounds specifically around like a caregiver who did not give you tenderness when you were growing up, or maybe was really critical and didn't necessarily encourage self-love within you. And I think that's the biggest thing that you can work on right now. Like, I think it's interesting too in this card, like this is a sun, but it's just a giant ball of fire. Like, I think that as you work through those insecurities and those issues and kind of the disconnect from like the love that you were given as a child and who you truly are and what you truly deserved, you're going to connect to that inner flame, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. This is just the explosion of fire that you're seeing down here. And it's going to bring in people and circumstances who really celebrate you. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, my pile ones, thank you so much for coming and bringing this beautiful energy to this reading. This was really dope. I really enjoyed channeling your energy. Like, I don't know where you're at in this healing journey, but man, like, you are powerful. You are strong. You're gonna do some shit in this life, and it's gonna be phenomenal. Like, you have so much fire and drive. It's just a matter of figuring out who you are, learning to love every single piece of you, and then direct that flame to where you really want to go. Like, once you have that good understanding of yourself, and I'm all here for it. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm just so grateful to have you here. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. If you'll like this kind of reading, I'm happy to do it. This was fun for me. So above all, protect your little heart out there. I'm rooting for you, and hopefully I will see you in another reading. Okay, bye. Hi cuties, hi Palo. If you chose this piece of black tourmaline, then this is your reading. Welcome. And the cute ghost tarot. So first, we are going to start out with oracles that I have pre-shuffled. I think your pal got a lot, so get ready. Also, just a quick side note and just, you know, gentle reminder again. This is a direct and honest reading, so I won't really be holding back. if we need to drag your person, we'll drag your person. Hopefully we won't really get to that, but I really want to focus on something that's going to be helpful for you when dealing with this situation. So I'm going to put out an energy check in an A and B type format. A is going to be your person, B is going to be you. There could be some mirroring. I don't really think so, but you know, sometimes it happens. One thing that I'm going to note is like, we're not really going to get into the situation in specifics or into your person in specifics. We're really going to be talking about you because you're here for some helpful advice or an honest truth. And it really doesn't matter how they're feeling. It's all about you, baby. Okay. So for this person, we have the riddle. And then we also have the tear. For the central energies, we have reflection. This is like the current energy of the connection, fear, and reflection. So there might be some mirroring here. Energy, I don't really remember what I pulled out for these, for every pile. And then magic. For you, we have Anima Mundi as your energy in this connection. What you were supposed to learn is fresh start, new beginnings, new moon, and Sekhmet, courage, truth, and shadow work. Something that you're working through right now and trying to build is I am practical, so being practical. Something that you are struggling with right now about this connection is I look for you everywhere. This was a common theme across all of the piles. So that potentially is just something that might draw you to a reading like this. And then just other cards that I pulled to kind of describe your energy in the connection. So we have dust in the wind. We have labyrinth, which is interesting because we have the riddle up here. We have cleanup on aisle 5 and fool's gold. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk about first because there's a lot here. This is by far the most energy cards that came out. They came out on a clump and I just kind of allowed it, you know. It feels like to me that there is a lot of mirroring across you and your person in this connection. And what really strikes me is that you both of you seem to have dealt with it in a very different way. It feels like this person does not understand the connection, does not understand you, does not understand themselves, and it causes them a lot of pain. And I feel like they put this pain on you. I feel like this is part of the reflecting or the reflection or the mirroring in this connection. And then just like the nature of it, like seems like there is a lot of energy surrounding it. And you may feel very connected to this person. I think it feels like there was a lot of things that were like happening, like almost in subtext or like not really expressed in the physical world. Like I'm looking at this magic and it feels like there's just like so much energy and so much potential, but then it's like crossed by this fear, and it just feels extremely unstable and unsettling to me. Like it feels like this never really grounded in a super healthy way. And this reflection and energy, I feel like it's just kind of like a ping pong ball that kind of like went back and forth between the two of you. But while this person, I think, did not handle it well, I don't think they really absorbed the lessons from this connection, I think you are learning to do so. I think you're learning to kind of sit with the more uncomfortable aspects of yourself and deal with the shadow aspects and understand yourself in a new light and really kind of like accept those pieces of yourself so you can integrate and move forward. Whereas I feel like this person is almost, they have this like dead weight energy to them. And it's kind of interesting because we have like the reflection on one side, on their side, and the energy on yours. We have the riddle up here and the labyrinth. I feel like this person is unwilling to really go within and kind of work through that riddle and work through that maze and figure out who they are. And it's causing them extreme pain, but they're not willing to do it. And I feel like what's happening is they are reflecting their damages and their pain to other people in their external reality. And if you were in a connection with this person, or a romantic connection of whatever nature, whether it grounded or it didn't, they definitely put their shit on you, is basically what I'm saying. And I think that you were also reflecting things in yourself that were unhealed. And that's what attracted the two of you in this situation. But I feel like on your side, like you have this kind of like labyrinthy energy. It feels happier. And you may not feel happy right now. Like you may feel confused, and you're definitely still working through the trauma of whatever this was. But the beautiful thing about Anima Mundi is like you can sit in opposites and be at peace. The tagline is accept all, reject none. Like, I think you're really learning to go within and understand yourself and really get to the heart of who you are. And I think these are like really like interesting cards to have pulled along with this. We have Cleanup on aisle 5 and Fool's Gold. I think you're going through kind of like a restructuring of what is important to you. And this cleanup on aisle 5 is like, okay, well, I went through some really hard shit with this person. And I have all of these treasures inside of myself. Like, how do I get past this like unhealed exterior to really be able to expose the beautiful pieces of me? Because I know that they're in there. And segment is all about shadow work. And I feel like as you were going through this shadow work, you're exposing a new beginning for yourself. And it's because you're putting work in. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, because we're going to be honest with each other today, this person isn't working. This person is weighing you down. This person isn't doing shit. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And I think what you're healing right now is like, yes, this connection is magical. Yes, there's so much energy between you two. Yes, there's this attraction. But there's also this kind of like brick wall here too. And you can choose to be stuck behind it, or you can choose to walk through it and get your new beginning. But I think you need to be practical about this and really ask yourself, is this person also putting in the work, and are they coming for the ride? Because what I'm seeing here, especially with Dust in the Wind, is like they might say they are. But at the core of it, they're not willing to go within themselves, and they're just reflecting their bullshit back on you. It's literally like they speak and it's dust in the wind. There's no grounding to it. And they might try to connect you back to this like magical aspect and magical nature, but the truth is they're too afraid to look at themselves realistically. And because of that, they're just stuck in this pain loop, and they're going to be stuck there, and they're going to keep on dragging you into it because they're trying to put it on you. And I think for a while, like you were just kind of like absorbing it, and probably reflecting it back to them as well. But I think it's really highlighted things in yourself that you need to heal. And I see you seeing those things. I see this person just completely in denial and expecting you to kind of do all the cleanup and the hard work, which is fully unfair. Okay, let's move on to the tarot. If this does not feel like your energy, I would say definitely choose another pile. If this seems right on, then, you know, let's ask Spirit what else they can tell us. Spirit's also telling me, like, you are a person who has the capacity to kind of like sit with the light in the dark. And not everybody has that. And it may, once you go through this shadow work, like, you're going to be able to pick that up more easily about other people. And you may find that, like, you're not like less able to connect. We have the devil coming out. But like, you're going to see things. Like, you're going to see kind of like these base desired, you're gonna see, because like the devil here is like smoking, like it's kind of interesting that I pulled this. There's like, I don't know, sex on a chain, there's a bottle of alcohol. Once you process your shadow work, you are going to see that unhealed piece in other people. And Spirit wants you to know that, like, it's not something that disconnects you from people. It actually is something that can connect you more deeply. But as you're going through this process, remember to hold strong boundaries for yourself. Your responsibility is to you and to your own healing. And I feel like you're kind of dealing with that in this situation, and that's why they're highlighting it. Like, the other person is not your responsibility. Full stop. You are your responsibility. And they get a choice. They get a choice to heal themselves. They get a choice to come along with you. And if they make the choice that they don't want to do the work, it is not your responsibility to do it for them. And you're just going to damage yourself and hurt yourself if you try to pick up the pieces for them. And I think that's the practicality of this. It's, okay, well, these are my needs and this is what I'm going to do. And this is how I'm going to move forward. And I'm going to be practical and I'm going to focus on me and put my energy in me. Because I need healing too. You can't heal two people at once. Okay, Spirit. What truth or advice do you have for our badass pal twos for this situation? Creator, that's the Magician. Ooh, that was a lot of cards. Top one? Okay, we'll take the top. The Three of Cups reversed. The World. The Four of Coins. Let's get one more. Okay, and the Seven of Sticks. Okay. So, Spirit is saying that you are the creative force in your life. You get to choose what direction you go. And I see the Three of Cups here as you choosing to integrate some of your shadow aspects, but also kind of a temptation to avoid like making tough decisions or prioritizing yourself because there are people around you that maybe that doesn't work for or don't like the way that you are changing. I feel like this could be a partner, like, you know, potentially who you're asking about in this connection. But I think that there are also other influences in your life that benefit from you staying unhealed. And remember that when you heal, you also act as a mirror to other people. And that's probably impacting this connection as well, where you are starting to work on yourself. And this person and maybe other people around you don't like that you're doing that. because it really highlights for them the unhealed pieces of themselves and the fact that they're not doing anything about it. And it's okay and comfortable when everybody's on the same level. But when you start leveling up, when you start ending cycles, when you start saying that something is not good enough for you or you want better for yourself, there are going to be people around you that look at you and try to tear you down, because it just shows them that they're not taking care of themselves. So I think Spirit really wants you to practice discernment and look at those things. And as you heal, you're going to be able to distinguish who is along for the ride and who isn't. Like the Four of Coins, it's about material possession, but it comes after the Three of Coins. And the Three of Coins is all about building foundations. You're going to be holding on to your little foundation that you've just built. Like, okay, like, I'm proud of this. I like the way my life is going. I like these changes that I've made. I love myself. I love all the parts of myself. I love the good, the bad, the ugly. I love the days where I feel super motivated. I love the days where I have like a really hard time getting out of bed. That is a full picture of me. That's being human. I'm not going to punish myself for my imperfection anymore, or the fact that I can't live up to somebody else's perfect ideal. Like, I'm here for me. And I see the Seven of Sticks, the Seven of Pentacles. Like, in most decks, this is somebody who's kind of at battle. In this deck, they're chilling and they're floating upward, and they're not even trying to hit people with sticks. Like, you're going to get to the point where, like, I'm above all this. Like, I don't need to deal with this. You got something mean to say? That's fine. Like, take it somewhere else. You know, like, I've moved past this. Sure, maybe, like, old me did X, Y, Z, but, like, that's not where I want to go in my life. And I love me for who I am. Spirit really wants to say that they have your back for this journey. And they really want you to know that they are sending you people who are going to align with this new version of you. People where you don't have to feel like you're kind of like fighting against them. People who are going to embrace you and love you for who you are and be on that journey with you to self-improvement and self-discovery. Not people who are going to reflect bullshit back on you because they're too lazy to do the work themselves. Spirit is saying that the person you're asking about is lazy. Just kind of full stop. This is a direct reading. I'm just letting you know, like, I think they vacillate between being resentful of you for changing and growing and also just expecting you to do the work for them because they are so uncomfortable looking within. Okay. I think this is all I have for you. I think this was pretty straightforward. I didn't pull too many tarot for the first pile either, but I am going to pull you a piece of advice. Okay. So for my badass pal twos, like on a healing journey, this is exciting. They're really proud of you. Because I know getting to this point and being even willing to take a look inward is painful. And it comes with a lot of road bumps. And they're really proud of you because I do feel like you haven't been in the most supportive environment for these changes and you are still doing it. And that's fucking magical. Like I don't know where I put your cards, but your central card was magic. And then you also have the Magician here as your first card. Like, this is what the alchemical process is all about. Like, this is what spirituality, growth is all about. And you are taking these steps. And Spirit is damn proud of you. Okay, Spirit, what advice do you have for my pile twos? Whoa, okay. Okay, first we have double mission, light worker, starseed. serve the world by being you. And what I'm called to see here is like, there are two aspects to this card. And like a floating head. Like beneath it too. And I really see as this head moving upward. And this is the dark night of the soul. This is going within. This is doing the shadow work. And this is you floating up to the cosmos afterwards. Realizing that as you heal yourself, you also have an impact on the people around you. And just like we talked about, you know, having people around who are looking at you and being like, oof, I don't want to look within. Like, remember that as you heal yourself and as you go through this journey, people are going to naturally respond to the changes that you make. And you're not responsible for healing them. You're not responsible for whether they respond positively or they respond negatively. All you have to do to make an impact in this world is be you. And leave the rest up to the universe. You're going to find the people who are supportive of you and your path. And then we have activated earth. You have power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. This is really trust in the process. I think that's really like all I could say about this one, you know, like no matter what you feel from the outside, as long as you are happy in yourself, you are going to be led in the right direction. Follow your intuition. Like you have that connection to magic and that connection to earth within you. And I just heard like, you could speak to trees. I don't know if that was one of your guides or mine. It was really cute though. And I feel like this is the beginning of a new phase for you. Like you are going to see a lot, like a huge cycle that is ending. And it's your choice to really follow that path and let it lead you where you need to go. But at the end of the day, you just have to know that you are enough. No matter where you are in your journey. Like we're never healed, right? Like you never wake up one day and you're like, well, everything's perfect. There's no more for me to learn and grow. That's not what this universe or this life is about. And you have a whole team that is dedicated to making sure that you have a good, fulfilling, long, beautiful life. And as long as you trust in that and you trust your inner wisdom and you make decisions, like once I was told, make decisions with your head, not your heart. Like focus on what's practical. Focus on how people make you feel. If they drain you all the time, it doesn't matter how much love you dump into them. They're not giving you anything back. That means it's an unbalanced connection. Like love isn't everything. Care isn't everything. Sometimes we can care too much. So as long as you're putting yourself first and really like recognizing that your connection with you is the most important thing in this world, you're going to be good. Your team is right behind you, supporting you. And they're really excited. So this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for bringing your energy to this reading, to this pile. This was really beautiful. Just thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. Above all, protect your little heart. I'm so excited for you for taking these steps on this journey. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading soon. Okay, bye. Hi, Pile 3. This is the second time I recorded this intro. I'm feeling weird. I don't know. But like really kind of light and bubbly in this pile. I don't know. If you pick this quartz point, then this is your reading. So I'm going to pull the tarot over to the side for a second and grab these oracles. So I pre-shuffled oracles for you. Before I lay them out, just a quick reminder, I am going to be honest in this reading. I'm also not going to focus too much about the person specifically that you're asking about. I'm gearing this reading more towards kind of the energy and where you're at and advice for you. So it may be harsh. I might have some harsh things to say about that person, but that's not really going to be the full focus of this. And just quick reminder, this is going to be a bit more direct of a message than I usually would give. So let's get into it. I read in an A to B format. So A is going to be the person you're asking about. B will be you. For your person, we have the sustainer and we have the shadow. For the central energy of the connection at the moment, we have stop. Or just collaborate and listen. You got some jokey spirits. I feel like that's kind of like why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So we have stop and rest. And then we also have consciousness. For your energy, we have the father. And then for the lessons that you're learning right now, we have last quarter, what is holding you back? And cast a circle. Healthy boundaries are crucial for growth. For something that you are kind of like struggling to embody right now, we have I am intuitive and I am limitless. For something that you're struggling to deal with regarding this connection, we have I can't stop thinking about you. This was a common theme in all of the piles, and maybe why y'all are here today. So definitely kind of a running theme today. And then we also have you cannot unring a bell. The first thing that I want to kind of talk about here is we have a lot of cards in this spread that seem to be kind of split down the middle. So we have the father, and there's a like dual nature to the father. This card talks about kind of a child's view of their father as they're growing up. Like when you are a child, you think that your father is a superhero and infallible and this crazy, wonderful person that can't make mistakes and is kind of like all-seeing, all-knowing. And as you grow, you realize that your father is just a person doing their best, and it's a person who has flaws. And so the father has this like nature of duality within that kind of is all encompassing. And it kind of speaks to me about the growth that you have had recently. It's very interesting that the person that you're asking about is represented by the shadow and the sustainer. And the sustainer to me, like, especially in this context, and you can see like there's like this little gem that looks exactly the same from the father. Like the sustainer is somebody who builds something and supports something. And what I'm really feeling in this spread is that there was an imbalance of masculine energy in this connection. And I feel like whether this was from like childhood wounds from you or like maybe an unbalanced view of the feminine as well, I think you've really come into your own to like recognize the balance of masculine and feminine energies within yourself. And really, you've developed kind of healthy expectations in a relationship for balance in partnership. I'm picking up on a lot of balance here. And part of the reason why I feel like there's balance between masculine and feminine for you is you have rest with the winky boobies. Can you see this? Everybody has to see the winky boobies. If you haven't seen them in readings, I point them out every time because I think they're funny. But I feel like you kind of like came into this connection with almost like rose-colored glasses and maybe an unbalanced perspective and understanding about what your role should be in the relationship and what your partner's role should be. And it feels like they were like a little bit like closer towards what more traditional gender roles would be. What I find is interesting is like the shadow is the primary aspect of this person and the sustainer is secondary. And then we also have stop on their side. And this doesn't mean that like stop is just on their side, but I do sense like a kind of controlling nature from this person. Like, I'm the provider, I'm the alpha male, like I heard I'm the alpha, I'm the omega, like I'm the man, like I make the rules, I do this, I do that. But what's interesting about the sustainer, like in this context and kind of the feeling that I'm getting for it, is they were not actually pulling their weight in the relationship. Like, I feel like they had this idea of what a masculine should look like, and it didn't really measure up with reality. And I think that's something that like we're seeing a bit, right? Where like traditional roles, like maybe you were raised in a household where the father worked, the mother stayed home and took care of kids. But now we're growing up and more families have two parents that work. And in some cases, I think there's a struggle between mental labor, emotional labor, the labor of raising children, just all the other decisions that need to happen that sometimes like fall on the woman's plate, because in a traditional household, that's just what you would do if you were just the parent that stayed at home. And I see just an unwillingness on this person's side to actually delve in and make a change. I think they have a very constrained view of like what it means to provide, what it means to protect. And they're not really willing to expand that out and take on tasks that might, in their mind, seem a little bit more feminine. And something else that's like jumping out at me as well is we have these two aspects in the shadow. There's one that's white, one that's gray, and then this like central area that kind of overlaps. And I feel like for this person, they're very resistant to that overlap. Even if it makes like objective sense to share some of these duties or share some of this labor, whether it is like laundry or whether it's just the emotional labor of opening up. I think this is an unexplored area for this person. And instead of listening and trying to kind of meet halfway, they're almost like ignoring this piece. They're like, no, this is mine and this is yours. But they're not really like digging into the piece that like maybe could be shared or maybe could be traded off. Whereas on your side, like I feel like you are starting to rub up against this imbalance, and I don't want to say like, I don't know if like outwardly this is causing a lot of like contention in your life. I feel like this person's like even like unwilling to even like go there to discuss it, but I feel like this is like causing a lot of internal friction for you. Like I see a lot of like friction and movement in this side. Something that like you're learning right now is I'm intuitive, I am limitless, like consciousness. I think you're starting to realize that you don't really need a person who is a traditional stereotypical like, I'm a man, I do this, you're a woman, you do this. You're like, well, I have this higher consciousness that I'm developing right now, and it's telling me that things aren't as black and white as some people may think. And I may have walked into this having one perspective, but now I'm in it and my consciousness is expanding. I came in thinking, and this is the, you cannot unring a bell. Like, I think you came into this thinking like, this is what I want, right? Like, I want this like strong provider. I want this like very like masculine, like quote unquote masculine male. Like, I would say in the more like toxic masculine male spectrum, if I'm gonna be, I guess this is an honest reading. Let me be honest, this person's view of masculinity is distorted. And I think that you didn't see that at first. And as time went on and you interacted with this person, whether you're in a relationship or not, you realize that like what you asked for and the type of partner that you were looking for isn't actually what you wanted. And isn't actually what's going to serve you moving forward. And you have this last quarter with this split down the middle as well. Like, what is holding you back? I am intuitive. I am limitless. Like, I feel like you are gaining the perspective that you don't necessarily need a provider protector mentality. Like, that's nice to feel protected by somebody. That's nice to feel safe. But you don't need somebody who's going to control you or domineer you or tell you what to do or tell you what not to do or tell you what a woman should be or tell you what a man should be. And I feel like you have rung this bell as well. And you can't unsee what you've seen. And that might be why you're here. If I'm gonna be honest. We also have cast a circle. Healthy boundaries are crucial for growth. This person does not seem like they respect boundaries. I think they set like limitations and they put limits on you, but they're not actual boundaries. Even though they kind of make it seem like this is my domain and this is your domain and those are boundaries. It doesn't seem like there is equality in this. It doesn't seem like this person is really taking into account who you are and how you're growing. They're not really growing. They're pretty stagnant. And you're a tree. You're maturing. You're seeing new things. You're gaining a new perspective. And I feel like part of it is like, your eyes have been a little bit closed. You're like, okay, I know this is happening. I know this is changing. I know this isn't necessarily for me, but I'm not quite ready to just like open my eyes yet. I see that as like, I mean, I think maybe all these ladies in this deck are they have no eyes, but I feel like you kind of have your head down, like looking at this pool, and out would probably be this direction. And you're kind of looking backward, but like maybe you should be looking forward and going into the night. I don't know if you can hear that. There are fireworks going off outside, I think. Kind of random in March, but okay. That just kind of popped me out of it. But yeah, I think this is spirit telling you, like, you know, you can't unsee what you've seen. You can kind of pretend like it doesn't exist for a while, but it's coming for you. And at some point, you're going to have to make a decision and you're going to have to set better boundaries, either with this person and try. And if they're not willing to do it and they're not willing to respect your boundaries and your needs, then it's something that's holding you back from your growth. Because you're not the person you were when you entered this, and you're never going to be that person again. And that's okay, that's beautiful, that's growth. But this person is not going to respect that growth because they don't want to grow. They like things the way that they are because it's super comfortable. Okay. Let's ask Tarot. Okay, friends, this is your reminder if this does not sound like you. I hope you didn't wait this long, but definitely click to another pile. These have been really interesting readings. There's a lot of like, I don't know, forks in the road and decisions and growth, but every pile has been growing in a new and really beautiful way. And I just really love this. Okay, Spirit, what truth do you have to share for our badass pile threes about this connection? Okay, we have, oh gosh, what is this? The Hierophant in reverse. We have the Star in reverse. We have Judgment in reverse. Ooh, this Judgment card is beautiful. Look at that queen. Hell yeah. She's just like juggling skulls on some beads. Also like very rare to find a female Hierophant, which I'm into. We have the Devil. And we have the Sun. Holy hell. Wait, did you literally just get all major arcana? Damn. Okay. Well. That's kind of wild. I mean, you can't unring a bell. It's interesting because that deck likes to be very chatty, and there were like 3 or 4 cards for the rest of the piles, and you got 1. Like, the growth that you've seen is not for nothing. You did not have consciousness as your central card for nothing. You have kicked off a major cycle in your life. And I do feel like you're not quite ready to actually roll with it. Like, we have the Devil as the only card that is upright in this spread. This is a fucking badass devil, too. Look at that. Hell yeah. It's interesting because the imagery is like very close to the Hierophant. They're both like kind of juggling beads, and they've got halos. It's kind of an interesting, or no, this isn't the Hierophant. This is Judgment. Okay. I was wrong. That's the Hierophant. Oh, I got excited about a female one. Okay, well, it's a female Judgment. But regardless, like, I do think this is kind of the crux of your decision. You're really being asked, like, what are you blinding yourself to right now? Like, what do you have your little winky? I keep on like putting it up to my eyes. Like, it reminds me of the guy in Pan's Labyrinth when he like, you know, like opens his eyes up. I think that you've been kind of growing almost in silence up at this point. And I think Spirit is really asking you to take a look at the things in your life that are keeping you comfortable. Because your consciousness is expanding and it's growing. And this person that you're in a connection with, they want to keep you in a box. They want you to be this little package. They want you to be the mother. They don't want you to be the father. And I think you're really learning about duality. And you're learning about spirituality. And you're learning about I mean, boundaries. There's so many, like this cast a circle. Where's this card? I love bringing the cards out because, you know, I never know with the decks, like what's going to come out, but every single card in this deck has a halo around them. And we have this cast a circle, like these two cards. We have cast a circle with this circle. I'm going to tip it a little bit so you can see it. And then we have consciousness, and this doesn't pick up too well because it's so light, but it's just a bunch of concentric circles. And I think you really have a choice. You know, like this life is about duality. This life is about choice. And there are things in your path and in this connection that are holding you back, that are saying, no, stop. Don't go forward. Don't advance. Don't change. No, stop. And I think to this point, you're like almost like peeking open your eyes and kind of looking, and you're changing a lot and you're growing. Maybe you started out like a tiny little sapling and you didn't really know a lot about what you needed or wanted or desired in a relationship. And this person was very attractive to you at that time. But now Spirit's saying that you're different. You're seeing something different. And if you stay trapped in this situation, you will never see your full potential because you have this person that is saying, no, stop, don't grow, don't make me uncomfortable, don't do this to me, no. Like, I think that it's so telling that, you know, okay, so the devil is what's up right now, but we have the sun. We have the sun in the final position, which is really beautiful. We have judgment, your spiritual awakening. We have the star, hope, healing. And we have the Hierophant. What's kind of striking me about the Hierophant here too, I don't really like normally read the Hierophant this way, but here I feel like the Hierophant is like a spiritual emperor, and you've been dealing with somebody who has unhealed masculine energy. Just kind of full stop. And I think here, like the Hierophant is really representing a message from Spirit saying that there is somebody out there and there are people out there who have more balance, who have a more spiritual perspective to gender roles or how you show up in a relationship or the division of labor. Like, it's not just cut and dry. You do not need to stay in these extremely traditional values if it's causing you pain, if it's actually coming at the expense of your own healing and your ability to move forward in life, in lessons, in your spiritual path. Like, this is really what's blocking you. The devil is saying, okay, well, you want to get to this sun? Look at this badass queen, all in her power. Like, she's got some Dia de los Muertos, like, makeup on, balance between life and death, killing it. She's got some Oshun vibes too with this little peacock feather, her little yellow dress. But this devil is saying, like, no, stop. And I feel like this is your person. You know, this is your potential of where you could go. And your person is like, nope, because that's not convenient for me. And that's pretty fucked up, like, to be perfectly honest. Because I'm going to be honest right now. Like, it's not fair for somebody to just say, like, hey, like, this isn't how you were when I met you. I don't like it. Like, your right partner is going to grow with you. So I think Spirit is really telling you, like, open your eyes. and learn to protect yourself, learn to have those boundaries. I think it takes a lot of strength to have boundaries. It takes a lot of work to figure out who you are, what you need. And I think you're really learning the duality of that. I feel like your eyes are opening and you're starting to realize that this connection isn't actually helping you grow, it's actually holding you back. And it's because this person seems like they feel like you are an extension of themselves, and they get to dictate and control who you are and what you do, because they want you to fit in that very, very narrow view of what they feel comfortable with and of who you are allowed to be in their head. And as long as you let somebody like this puppet master you, as opposed to taking that power away and saying, okay, well, like, look at these. We got our little puppet master here holding all these beads. And then this judgment card being like, fuck that. This is my life. Like, I'm going to puppet myself, you know? Like, you have that choice. And it's really about stepping into your own power and trusting yourself and really listening to your spiritual guidance and listening to the lessons that are coming out and what you're learning. And I just want to pull these out again. Like, I'm intuitive and I am limitless. Like, you are not a puppet. You are not somebody around for somebody else's ego. Like, you got to trust your intuition and know that in your heart, you know what's right and wrong. You know where you feel restriction in your life and where you don't. You know what's going to free you. And you truly know which direction to go. I think you really do. I think you just have been putting off making a decision. You've had those kind of blinders up and had your like little winky eyes closed. But it's time for you to open them and really decide what you want to do with your life and how you want to live, not how somebody else wants you to live. Okay, I think this is all I have. I'm going to give you a piece of advice from Spirit just to wrap up. Spirit, oh, okay. They know. I already tell them the questions I'm going to ask beforehand. So, okay. We have portal. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. What was I just talking about? Like, it's your decision. You know, like, those doors are opening. You cannot unring a bell. You have seen what's coming. You understand what's there. Whether or not you want to actually admit it to yourself. Like, you're going to get rewards from going and taking action from a place of really understanding what you are, who you are, what you need. And don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. And then we the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. This card talks a lot about motherhood. And I feel like in this context, it's really reminding you that you are, my gosh, have I been reading with a dirty nail this entire time? Oh no. Sorry, that distracted me for a second. You have been dealing with somebody who has unrealistic expectations of feminine energy. You are not here to be this person's mother. You are not here to heal their mother's wounds. You are not here to mother them. You are not here to pour love into them at the expense of yourself. And again, this is talking about a portal. I feel like you're facing kind of a new birth for yourself, where you get to really decide who you want to be. Your eyes are opening. It's a whole brand new world for you. Like, you get to go in whatever direction you want. You can stay stagnant with somebody who tries to control you, or you can be fearless and realize that you get a choice in your life. Nobody gets to tell you what to do. Some things are a negotiation and some things are a compromise, but no one is allowed to control you. That's very, very different. And no one's allowed to put their unhealed mother wounds on you and expect you to baby them because it's convenient for them and they don't like when you have an opinion. So that is my direct and honest truth. I'm excited for what happens when you open your little eyes, because you cannot unring a bell is an inherently spiritual message. Like, on some level, you have called out to spirit and you have asked for advice, recognizing that you are more and you want more for yourself, and they have answered. And I'm just very excited that you've taken that step. And when you're ready, they're going to be there to open these doors for you. So I hope this was helpful. If this resonated, please like, comment, subscribe. That really helps me grow my channel. I'm just really, really grateful that you're here. This was a really beautiful reading. And thank you for bringing your energy. I have so much gratitude for you. So I hope you keep your little heart safe. And I hope you will come back and see me again soon. Okay? Bye.